Hello, hello. This is Adrienneobey, and I am coming to share something I had saw earlier today, and I was really impressed by what I read. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to share what I read with other people because it was so interesting. And I had gotten this from a gentleman. It was written by someone by the name of Barry Lynch, who is a member of a group that I'm in. And I thought, how interesting that he wrote this. And it was very, well, it just pulled me in. So I thought, okay, I'm going to share this. I hope I'm okay with sharing this with other people, because it was Barry Lynch's and not my own. But I thought, well, it's so interesting. I really would like to share this information, and I hope I don't get in trouble for doing that. But at least I gave him a shout out, and it's not something I personally am claiming to have written or anything of that nature. It was just really interesting to read it. And so I thought, well, maybe it's okay if I just share this with other people. And the reason why I'm just hesitating a little is I know that sometimes this is something that happens to my daughter, and she gets so upset, like, wait, how did they get my information? But sometimes people, they'll share something, and it's so interesting, and you can really relate to it to such a point that it makes you want to share it because it's such good information. So what I'm doing is just kind of separating things a little so I can read this back to you. So let me take a sip here of tea, and then I will relate this to you. So it's gratitude is an investment. Is gratitude an investment? You decide. Would you like a magnificent way to start each day? Sit down first thing in the morning and write 10 things down that you feel grateful for. When that's finished, be quiet for about 5 minutes and ask for guidance. Then send love to 3 people that are bothering you. This daily practice will change your life as long as you make sure you feel it. You probably already know that making a gratitude list can make you happier because it disconnects you from the toxic, negative thoughts and emotions and allows you to focus on something positive. However, merely writing down what you're grateful for and then checking off your to-do list is not enough. To get the most from the practice, you must make it more than an intellectual exercise. You must feel the gratitude in your body because how you feel controls your vibration and what you attract in your life. But here's the problem. Some days you will find yourself so mired in the problems and challenges in your life and of the world that it will be hard to feel genuine gratitude for one thing, let alone 10. So what should you do? How do you get in tune with the feeling of gratitude? You shift your thoughts by thinking about or doing something that causes you to feel happy and grateful. For instance, you can think of a person or a pet that you loved or have loved, or you can remember an event or a day that was special to you and has a special meaning to you. You can get engrossed in your memory. You can recall the feeling of being with that person or pet, the joy of your wedding day, the excitement of your favorite holiday. Then while listening and feeling that way, you can make your list of 10 things that you're grateful for while you're in that moment of recollection, of memory, of joy. And listen. When you make that list of 10 things that you're grateful for, listen. You don't have to search for major things that you're grateful for, like a new car or promotion. Your gratitude list can be simple things like enjoying a perfect cup of French press coffee, or catching a glimpse of the sun, watching a total eclipse. Now, here's the remarkable part. When you make your gratitude list, you can include things you want or dream of. They don't have to be physically already manifested in your world. For example, you can write down what you're grateful for achieving, or that you're grateful for achieving a goal that you set. So, for instance, I am so happy that Astrology, A Look Inside made over $250,000 this year. See, that's a goal that I've set. Or that the breakup or divorce you're currently going through ended amicably. This is true because the real power of practicing gratitude does not come from what you're grateful for. It comes from the feeling of being grateful. After you complete your gratitude list, close your eyes. Be quiet for about 5 minutes and ask Spirit to guide you throughout the day. Then be open to what you feel and what you fear. When I first told Sandy to do this, she said, I like to have an obvious and concrete message when I'm asking for guidance. How do you do that? Do you fish? I asked. Yes, I like salmon fishing. So I explained that getting clear guidance is like fishing. Sometimes you notice something and you wonder if you have a fish. You're not sure. And so you question if it's really a fish. That's not clear guidance. However, there are also times when you know you have a fish online. You feel the fish. There's no question in your mind that the fish is there. So you start reeling it in. When you got a fish, you know it's there. That's how guidance comes in. It comes with a boom. And when it does, your job is to avoid reasoning your way out of it. Don't question if it's real. Go with it. Listening to and following this advice and this guidance facilitates divine presence in your daily life and leads to extraordinary breakthroughs. It's all about you. Next, send love to 3 people that are bothering you. Of course, if someone is bothering you, there's a good chance that the last thing you want to do is send love to them. So here's a quick trick that will make it easier. Bring someone or something that you love to mind. Hold an image of the person or thing in your mind, and as you feel the love you have for them and send those loving feelings their way, then slowly let your loved one fade out of the picture and start to picture the person who is bothering you. Let the image of that person slip into your mind as you continue to feel the love for your loved one. It sounds silly, but it works. Why should you send love to people you're not on good terms with? Because thinking negative thoughts about someone is like you drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. Thinking bad thoughts puts you in a negative vibration, which attracts bad things to you. Sending genuine loving thoughts to those who are bothering you takes the poison away. The moment you send out love, you get it back immediately. You don't have to wait for it to come back because it's already within you. And that's why you want to do this practice every day. Why this practice is so important. Have you ever read chapter 7 of The Science of Getting Rich? In this chapter, Wallace Waddell says, the whole process of mental adjustment and attunement can be summed up in one word: gratitude. So let's look at the term mental adjustment. Suppose we have challenges in our life that are dominating our thinking: a shortage of money, a business problem, a relationship problem. In that case, we will tend to focus on the problem. And by doing that, we add energy to what? The problem. And then the problem grows. So Wallace Wattles is saying, don't do that. Choose to make your mental adjustment by seeing what you want. Don't spend any time thinking about or looking at what you don't want. Now, Waddell said the whole process of mental adjustment and attunement, the attunement is getting in harmony with the law. How can you put that into action? Well, let's look at it this way. Whenever you seem to be overwhelmed with problems or negative emotions, stop whatever you're doing and block all that stuff out. Then think about something, anything that you're grateful for. I know that is a pretty tall order. However, if you do it, everything will start to shift in an instant, like snapping your fingers. When you change the way you look at problems, the problems will change. Create a new life model. The positive effects of expressing gratitude each day compounds like interest. You might not notice the benefit of the practice immediately, but after several weeks and months, you will. That's because a daily gratitude practice trains the brain to be more in tune with experiencing gratitude. A positive plus a positive equals more positives. The benefits of doing this daily practice will be undeniable in the coming weeks because everything, your health, happiness, success in achieving your goals, is affected by the way you think and feel about your life. It will give a more significant difference in your life than any strategy or plan that you can think of to your success. This is Gratitude an Investment? You decide. Spoken by Adrienneobey, Capricorntigress of Astrology Side, and of Adrienneobey headquarters. Many blessings.